My God, where's Bill? Oh, hi, doctor.
Good morning, Mrs. Cortez. May I come in?
Yeah, sure. Come in.
Well, yesterday we received a patient in the emergency ward. We took his ID and his data and information, and turns out he's your husband.
Why? What is wrong with him?
He has pneumonia.
But what is that? Oh my God, doctor, what is that? I have no idea.
Let me explain. Pneumonia is an infection of lung tissue caused by microbes, which actually results in inflammation.
But how could that happen to my lungs?
Well, it's actually pretty simple to explain. During an inhalation, which is the action of bringing air into your lungs by breathing, air reaches your lungs by traveling down your trachea, then it continues through the bronchi and the bronchioles, and ends up in the alveoli. Alveoli are these tiny air sacs that look like grapes that are rubbed up in a net of capillaries. This is actually where the majority of gas exchange happens in the lungs. Oxygen would leave the air in the alveoli and cross into the bloodstream, while carbon dioxide leaves the bloodstream and is then exhaled out of the body.
But if I only breathe carbon dioxide and oxygen, then how are my lungs getting infected?
That's very good to ask. Actually, in addition to air, we're also breathing other stuff, like, say, microbes, for example. And, well, yeah, it's true, all of that is entering all the way to our lungs, but luckily, we have all these mechanisms that help us protect ourselves. And these mechanical techniques can actually be narrowed down into three. Coughing, which actually pulls out all of the bacteria from your throat and from your lungs, well, most of it. The second one is actually a mucociliary escalator that lines the entire airway and moves out larger bacteria. And the third one are these things called macrophages, which actually nestle deep inside the alveoli and are ready to attack and destroy all the microbes that actually wander down there.
But if we have all these mechanisms are helping us, then how are we getting infected?
Well, actually, the problem comes when a microbe actually successful in his attempt to colonize the bronchioli or the alveoli. If this happens, congratulations, you've got pneumonia. Well, your husband actually became infected with lower pneumonia, which is actually a type of pneumonia where a whole lobe of the lung gets filled with fluid.
Lower pneumonia? Lungs filled with fluid? Like, what is that?
Okay, so lobar pneumonia can actually be divided in 4 stages. We've got congestion, red hepatization, gray hepatization, and resolution. It takes about 8-ish days for the 4 stages to actually complete. And don't worry, it does sound like a lot, but I'm going to walk you through it. So, for the first stage, we got congestion, which develops in the first and second day. And it's actually when the blood vessels and the alveoli fill up with excess fluid. The second stage is called red hepatization, and it manifests on the 3rd and the 4th day. This is actually when a liquid called exudate fills the air spaces in the lungs, making them more solid. Exudate is this fluid that's filled with red blood cells, neutrophils, and fibrin. And well, this stage is actually called red hepatization because the lungs takes on a color that actually resembles that of the liver, which is due to the reddish brownish color of the exudate.
Okay, so I understand that there are 4 stages: the congestion, red hepatization, gray hepatization, and the resolution. And I understand that the 2nd stage is red hepatization because the lung is colored like the liver, and that sounds horrifying. But I don't get the name of the 3rd stage being gray hepatization.
Well, yeah, it is weird, but you can actually make sense of it all. So think about it. Exudate, which is actually the fluid that's filling up your lung in that moment, is filled with 3 major things: red blood cells, neutrophils, and fibrin. Now, one of these 3 gives the reddish brownish color, mainly, and that's the red blood cells. And the gray hepatization, which takes part in the 5th and throughout the 7th day, is when the red blood cells are starting to break down. And so the lung actually changes color from reddish to more of a grayish tone. And well, the lung is still firm, but the red blood cells are starting to decay and disappear. And with that is how we reach our 4th and final stage, which is called resolution. This takes place in the 8th day and may go on for about 3 weeks. And it's actually when the exudate gets either digested by enzymes, ingested by macrophages, which are the things nestled inside the alveoli, which kill all the bacteria, or coughed up. It's very ironic how the mechanisms that we had for defending ourselves actually are the final part in this process. And with that, that's it. You're cured. Now you may be wondering, how do I know if I have pneumonia? How do I know when to go and check a doctor? Well, actually, pneumonia can be simplified in very little signs and symptoms, which include dyspnea, which is shortness of breath, chest pain, productive cough, which actually results in pus or bloody sputum coming out of your mouth, and other systemic symptoms, which include fatigue and fever.
But if I go to a doctor, how are they sure I got pneumonia? And also, what kind of treatment would I get?
Don't worry about that. Pneumonia is actually pretty easy to identify. So usually, people who are diagnosed with pneumonia are working very hard to breathe or breathing really fast. So that's a starter. And another very clear way to actually identify pneumonia is by doing a chest x-ray. In case you've got lobar pneumonia, the x-ray will show that there's fluid localized in a single lobe or sets of lobes. And even if these don't identify pneumonia, there are other things related to the illness, which actually include late inspiratory crackles, bronchial breath sound, bronchophony, egophony, and even tactile vocal firmitis.
Tactile vocal formidis? Like, what is that?
Well, actually, tactile vocal firmitis is, in my opinion, the most interesting way to diagnose a patient with pneumonia. So, now, you're going to do the following thing. Go find the closest person to you. And if you're alone right now, try to touch your back, okay? So, come to the person like this and touch their back. Now you're gonna ask the person to talk. So, Miss Cortez, please say something, anything. Make a sound.
I love to touch really fluffy things.
Okay, so now, so you may have noticed, The moment you placed your hand in their back and they talked, you felt vibrations, right? So that's because of all of them speaking. That's causing the vibrations in the back. Now, pneumonia fills the lungs with fluid, and it's knowledgeable that sound and vibrations travel better in fluids than in gas, because the molecules are closer together. So this means that if you put your hand in a person's back that has pneumonia, you're gonna feel the vibrations way more, because it's gonna travel faster and more. So I really find that interesting. I don't know if you do. And now for the final part. You got pneumonia, you've been diagnosed with it, you know you have it, and you feel terrible. So how are you gonna cure it? Well, treatments for pneumonia actually vary with the severity. And well, usually, since bacteria are the main cause of the illness, antibiotics are often prescribed. And well, in order to allow the patient to suffer as little as possible, pain medication and cough suppressants are also really recommended. Oh, did you get all that?
Well, thanks to you, I got the gist of it. I'm still not 100% sure I get it completely, but Bill? Oh, Bill, it's you. Oh my God, darling, I love you. I know. Oh my God, Bill. Thank God you're okay. I love you too.
So what did he say?
He's going to be fine, and that he loves me, and that we will go through this together.
Well, my job here is done. I'm glad that your husband got better, but I got work to do, so I must take my leave. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope you really enjoyed my presentation. And with that, I'll take my leave. Alright, we're almost done. We're just gonna review real quick to make sure that you actually learned from this video. So, you're gonna pause the video, okay? I'm gonna show you 5 questions and you're gonna pause the video. Don't research them, don't look back, try to answer them to the best of your ability, and well, let's give it a shot. So, it's these 5 questions. Alright, now pause the video. Okay, now that you've hopefully answered the questions, we're gonna go through each one. So first, what is pneumonia? So pneumonia is an infection of the lungs that results in air sacs being filled with fluid. Okay? Second question. Lobar pneumonia specifically infects what? Lobar pneumonia specifically infects an entire lobe of the lung. Question number 3. What are the names of the 4 stages of lobar pneumonia? Stage 1 is congestion, Stage 2 is red hepatization, Stage 3 is gray hepatization, and Stage 4 is resolution. Question number 4 is, what is the most usual sign that you have pneumonia? Well, the most usual sign is basically difficulty breathing or short breaths. And finally, question number 5. What treatment would you normally receive for pneumonia? And the treatment would be antibiotics, pain medications, and cough suppressants. And well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. But in all seriousness, if you ever show any of the symptoms related to pneumonia, it's not a joke. You must go see a doctor. It's really, really dangerous to live on with illnesses with such a gravity like this one. So get yourself checked out. Don't be scared about it. It's okay. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.